Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone please sing. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Going to recite the Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas. Please do recite along if you know it. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yad kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschitya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Everyone please recite together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. We're going to be discussing chapter 4, which is about transcendental knowledge. Verse 24. So I'll recite the verse and then you can repeat. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. So we're now going to read the word for word dictionary definition that Srila Prabhupada has kindly given. And then you can repeat. So Brahma, spiritual in nature. Arpanam, contribution. Brahma, the supreme. Havi, butter. Brahma, spiritual. Agno, in the fire of consummation. Brahmana, brought by the spirit soul. Ahutam, offered. Brahma, spiritual kingdom. Eva, certainly. Tena, by him. Gantavyam, to be reached. Brahma, spiritual. Karma, in activities. Samadhina, by complete absorption. Thank you. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Purport. How activities in Krishna consciousness can lead one to ultimately to the supreme goal, spiritual goal, is described here. There are various activities in Krishna consciousness, and all of them will be described in the following verses. But for the present, just the principle of Krishna consciousness is described. A conditioned soul entangled in material contamination is sure to act in the material atmosphere, and yet he has to get out of such an environment. the process by which a conditioned soul can get out of the material atmosphere is called Krishna consciousness. For example, a patient who's suffering from the disorder of the bowels due to overindulgence in milk products is cured by another milk product, namely curds. The materially absorbed conditioned soul can be cured by Krishna consciousness as set forth here in the Bhagavad Gita. This process is generally known as yajna, or activities in sacrifice, simply meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Krishna. The more the activities of the material world are performed in Krishna consciousness, or for Vishnu only, the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. The word Brahma or Brahman means spiritual. The Lord is spiritual, and the rays of his transcendental beauty are called Brahmajyoti, his spiritual effulgence. Everything that exists is situated in that Brahmajyoti, but when the Jyotir is covered by the illusion of Maya, sense gratification, it is called material. This material veil can be removed at once by the process of Krishna consciousness. Thus, the offering for the sake of Krishna consciousness, the consuming agent of such an offering or contribution, the process of consumption, the contributor, and the result, all combined together are Brahman or the absolute truth. The absolute truth, covered by Maya, is called matter. Matter, dovetailed for the cause of the absolute truth, regains its spiritual quality. Krishna consciousness is the process of converting the illusory consciousness into Brahman, or the Supreme. When the mind is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, it is said to be in a state of samadhi, trance. Anything done in such transcendental consciousness is called yajna, or sacrifice for the absolute. In that condition of spiritual consciousness, the contributor, the contribution, the consumption, the performer or leader of the performance, and the result of ultimate gain, everything becomes one in the absolute, the Supreme Brahman. That is the method of Krishna consciousness. So this particular verse in Sanskrit is a verse that I've learned from my childhood, so it's very easy to remember, it's very easy to recite. But the meaning of it is quite heavy and quite powerful at the same time. In the case of the translation of the verse and the purport, which Srila Prabhupada has painstakingly written, there's a theme, there's an ongoing theme here of complete absorption, fullness, becoming one in the absolute. Now, just make a note. I'm not saying becoming one with the absolute. I'm saying one in the absolute. So becoming a particle of dust within the lotus feet of the Lord. So the state of complete absorption in whatever we do, it helps amplify the meaning and the significance of what we are doing. Srila Prabhupada explains in this verse that one who performs material activities but dovetails them into Krishna consciousness eventually, and does that with complete absorption, will gradually become purified, and the activity itself becomes spiritualized. The whole atmosphere becomes spiritualized. So in the translation, being fully absorbed in this state of Krishna consciousness, so much so to the point that one enters a state of trance or as we call it in Sanskrit, a state of samadhi. What does that mean? Doing something when you're fully absorbed into it, you are being mindful of what activities you're performing in Krishna consciousness. You are mindful of the fact that you are not doing this to please your own ego. You're not doing this to please others. You are doing this to please the Lord. So when we do something that's a spiritual activity, we have to ensure that we are fully absorbed into it. Any activity, any material activity can be dovetailed into something spiritual. Have any of you sort of had a walk around the temple facilities, the grounds? There's a cottage on the other side, ladies' ashram. Next to that cottage, on the wall, there are 3 mosaic pieces. And on those mosaic pieces, it highlights all the activities that we do day to day, but we can purify them by doing it as an offering to Krishna. So any activity on those mosaic pieces is beautifully created, and it highlights all the activities that we could do that we normally do on a day-to-day basis. So for example, cooking, cleaning, making some sort of decorations, singing, serving the Lord, serving the cows, serving the Tulsi Marani plant. All these activities, we do it as a day-to-day, but once we come to the mindset of doing it with the intention to serve Krishna, we're doing it with the intention to please Krishna, to please Vishnu, then that activity becomes purified. When you are cooking, in the temple, we have devotees who make bhoga for the Lord. So it's not just, we don't just make a meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we call it bhoga. Once that bhoga is offered to the Lord, it is then distributed to everyone. It becomes prasad. Why? Because it is sanctified, it is purified by the Lord. And it is blessed food. So in that way, everyday activities, Srila Prabhupada says, if we do it with complete absorption, then that will have the powerful effect of transforming our hearts, of purifying our consciousness. In the verse itself, Brahmar Pranam, Arpanam, to do arpan, to offer something to the Lord. Brahma Ahutam, sacrificial offerings to the Lord. Whenever we're performing some sort of puja or religious sacrifice, what do we offer as sacrificial offerings? We offer ghee, we offer flowers, fruits, other paraphernalia. So sacrificial offerings. And Srila Prabhupada actually talks about how as conditioned souls, we have the potential to be purified and be cured and reconnect with our own original spiritual potency. We have the potency, we have the potential to do that, but that is only possible by the process of Krishna consciousness. In a lot of Srila Prabhupada's books, he talks about how we are conditioned souls. What does that mean when we hear the term conditioned souls? Does anyone want to kind of guess what it could mean? What do you think it means when someone says to you that you're a conditioned soul? Anyone want to guess? What do you think it means? Conditioned soul. Yeah. The clue's in the name. Conditioned. So we are conditioned through thousands and thousands of lifetimes, through the process of birth, disease, old age, and death. And we are conditioned in certain ways to behave in certain ways, to carry out our life in certain ways, due to the influence of Maya, or the material illusory energy. And it's not just us who do it. Everyone does it, and everyone has been doing it for generations. Certain habits we have, certain ways of speaking, certain ways of dressing, that's all our conditioning that we have received from our previous generations. And that has been passed on through to us and through to our future generations as well. So conditioned souls, where we are so conditioned, we have developed a tunnel vision mindset, that we follow this shopping list in life. That, when a child is born, they are nurtured, then they go to school, then they go to college, the sixth form or university, graduate, get a job, get a house, get married, get a car, have children, retire, and that's it. That's the typical shopping list that everyone almost follows, right? So that's the conditioning that we have all been brought up with. But Srila Prabhupada says, in terms of the conditioning that we have, that we think that we are this body, we are so attached to this material body. We are so engrossed in thinking about how we present ourselves to others. We are so absorbed and so obsessed with looking good on the outside, going to the gym religiously, and doing everything, buying the best clothes, the best jewelry, the best car, the best house. Who do we do it for? Why are we doing that? Right? Who are we doing that to impress? His Holiness Keshav Maharaj always says, cultivate a life that not only looks good from the outside, but feels good on the inside. How do we cultivate that? Because some people, you see all these rich celebrities, all these millionaires around the world, they're popping pills, sleeping pills, because they can't sleep at night, right? They're on antidepressants. So many celebrities, so-called celebrities, have committed suicide. Why? They're millionaires. They have everything money can buy. And yet, there's that void. There's that void in the heart. Something that's so empty, they become like an empty shell of the person. So that just goes to show that this material conditioning that we are blinded with in every birth, being obsessed with money, with power, with fame, all of that is the illusion that makes us think that we are going to be happy if we have loads of money, if we have loads of power, and if we are famous, or if we strive to work so hard, we work ourselves to the grave. And then we lose the opportunity to actually really dig deep and reflect and introspect on what is the purpose of our journey here today. What is the purpose of our existence? Why are we here? Like all of us here tonight, we could have been anywhere on a Friday night, right? Most of us go out with friends, we go to a restaurant, or we go to someone's house for dinner. We could have been at home, binge watching something on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. We could have been anywhere doing anything. But Krishna, because he is so kind, he has invited all of us, and he is trying to connect with us through our hearts. He has invited all of us to come here, to just kind of stop, pause, rewind, and reflect. What is our true purpose here? And with that understanding, we can gradually come to the point, even though that we are conditioned souls, we can gradually come to the point of self-realization. There's a very powerful book called The Science of Self-Realization, written by Srila Prabhupada himself. If any of you have not come across it before, we have some copies available in our reception lobby area and in the gift shop. Very powerful book. I highly recommend you read it. And in that book, in chapter 7, Returning to the Eternal Religion, Srila Prabhupada actually talks about the 4 defects that we have as conditioned souls. What are those 4 defects? We have the potential to commit mistakes. We have the propensity to commit mistakes. We have the propensity to be illusioned. We can't believe everything that we see with our eyes or hear with our ears, right? Because it could, or even whatever we hear, sometimes it is misconstrued or misunderstood. So we have the potential to be illusioned. We have the propensity to cheat others. We also have the propensity to be cheated by others, to cheat others, and we also have imperfect senses. So some of us, we are wearing glasses, right? Why? I'm wearing glasses because my eyesight is not perfect. That's a visual aid I have for myself. Without my glasses, I can't see very well. And some people who wear hearing aids, they can't hear very well. That's why they need that hearing aid. It aids them to hear better. So that's how Srila Prabhupada explains that as conditioned souls, we are born with these 4 defects: to commit mistakes, to be illusioned, to cheat others, and to have imperfect senses. But Srila Prabhupada says that we are all diseased souls. We all have some sort of disease. We all have some sort of, because we are conditioned, we are blinded by the illusion of looking for external factors to make us happy. And we are conditioned that way. And we are blindly looking for external sources, blindly running behind money and success, thinking that that will make us happy, that will give us peace of mind. But Srila Prabhupada says, if we come to the process of Krishna consciousness, if we read Srila Prabhupada's books, and if we learn what it is that we need to do to purify our souls, we purify our hearts, our minds, our consciousness, we gradually come to the stage of self-realization, where the conditioning of the material world doesn't quite affect us as much. Eventually, it comes to that stage. And the conditioned souls, Srila Prabhupada says, we become purified through the various material activities. So like I said previously, how if we perform certain day-to-day activities, but we do it with the mindset that we are not doing this for our own pleasure, we are not doing this to fulfill our own false ego, we are doing this to please Krishna, we are doing this for his pleasure, for his happiness, we will actually realize that none of this, everything that exists, whatever we are doing, none of this is in our control. And what we think we are doing for our own happiness, that flickering happiness is here today, gone the next second, right? But if we do it with a higher purpose, we do it with the mindset that whatever activities I'm doing, whether it's reading, whether it's studying the Bhagavad Gita, whether it's cooking, whether it's decorating your house, whether it's making flower garlands, whether it's making incense sticks or perfumes for the Lord, if we do it for the pleasure of the Lord, we will find that our consciousness becomes purified. And also, we also find that we become, the whole activity of offering that activity, the whole process becomes spiritualized. Whole process, the whole atmosphere becomes spiritualized. Like if you enjoy singing, for example, if you enjoy music, if you enjoy kirtan, we have lots of programs where we have kirtans here in the temple. We have kirtan melas. We also have kirtan concerts. So activities like that where you can dovetail everyday routines and make it into a spiritual offering, a sacrificial offering, Brahmana Ahutam. We offer it to the Lord with love and devotion. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that whatever patram pushpam phalam toyam, patram pushpam phalam toyam. So even if you offer me, oh Shishi Radha Goplananda ki jai, Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you offer me with love and devotion, patram, a leaf, pushpam, flower, phalam, some fruit, toyam, some water, whatever we offer with love and devotion, Krishna says if we offer it with love and devotion, I will accept it. And it's so simple. Spiritual life is so simple. But if we do it, Hare Krishna, if we do it with complete absorption, if we do it with the intention of pleasing Krishna, if we do it with the intention that we want to do it as an offering of love, of our love, Krishna will accept that offering. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that this process of Krishna consciousness, what is it? Is basically the process of becoming, first of all, becoming conscious of who we are as spirit souls. We are not this body, we are the soul. So it doesn't help if we are too obsessed or too fixated on just maintaining the body. But if we feed our soul, we feed the body with food, grains, nutrition. We feed our minds with positive affirmations, But also, how do we feed our soul? What is it we are doing for purification? Srila Prabhupada says that any activity that is offered to Krishna with love and devotion is a process of Krishna consciousness. And through this process, the more we are conscious of the fact that whatever we are doing for the pleasure of Krishna, then Srila Prabhupada actually says in the purport that the material veil can be removed. The material veil of illusion. The illusion thinking that what we are doing will make us happy. What we are doing will make our family happy. But sometimes, no matter how much we do for others, it's never going to be enough. We have some people, we've all come across people in our lives, right? Where no matter how much we bend over backwards for them, how much we struggle and work hard to provide for them, to make them happy, nothing will ever be good enough for them. But then if we think about what Krishna says, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, just a leaf, a flower or a fruit, so simple and so easy to obtain from anywhere, some water even. Just simple little things like that. If we offer it with love and devotion, Krishna says he will accept it. What happens? How do we know that Krishna has accepted that? Because, and this is speaking from personal experience and from what I have observed from other devotees when they are offering something, as the person, your heart becomes full. You become more and more satisfied with just simple belongings. You feel the need to just get rid of unnecessary clutter in your life. You feel satisfied with the bare minimum. You feel satisfied with Srila Prabhupada's statement, simple living, higher thinking. Simple living. We don't need excessive material possessions to make us happy. We don't need the best car or the best house or all the money in the world to make us happy. Just something simple. Why? Because when we clear our heart of that greed, of that desire to accumulate, when we clear our desires and also our mind, we make space for absorbing transcendental knowledge. We make space in our minds, in our hearts. And once we are blessed with that opportunity to be able to study or make time to study the Bhagavad Gita, we will realize that there is so much out there that we do not know about. There's so much knowledge, there's so much transcendental nectar that we are completely oblivious to. Why? Because we are so consumed by our material greed. If we take the time to, like all of you have come to the temple tonight, we have the 7 o'clock Aarti starting in about 20 minutes. If we take part in the Aarti, if we take part in different temple programs, but if we also make time to read Srila Prabhupada's books, to do some seva here at the temple, if we take time to, out of our lives, we have 24 hours in a day. If we take just 10 minutes out of those 24 hours, and if we spend just 10 minutes chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 108 times, we chant on japa beats, and one round is 108 sort of rounds, 108 names of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the morning. Srila Prabhupada actually talks about the Brahma Muhurat. The the best time to meditate, if we want to take time out to meditate, the best time of day is in the early hours of the morning before sunrise. So the Brahma Muhurat is typically between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. So depending on what time the sunrise is, each day during the winter and the summer, if we consciously make a decision, today is Vasanta Panchami, right? Vasanta Panchami, what is that festival about? In Vrindavan, it is the onset of the first day of spring. And they say that the new year technically begins in spring. Why? Because in the new year, you have new flowers blossoming. You have new intentions. Whenever we actually come across the new year, we make New Year's resolutions. We make plans that this year I'm going to do something different. This year I'm going to make some sort of effort to dive deep within my heart. I'm going to make some sort of effort. I'm going to take 10 minutes, just 10 minutes out of 24 hours in the day. If we just take 10 minutes out of the day, early morning, and just chant the Hare Krishna mantra for 10 minutes, I promise you, that will set you up for the rest of the day. It is so powerful. And gradually through this process, so this is a process of Krishna consciousness where you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and through chanting regularly, through chanting diligently, and every day, if we make that commitment on Vasanta Panchami, the onset of springtime, new beginnings, if we make a resolution in our heart that on this day, I will actually make a solemn promise to myself to nourish my soul and take some time out, just 10 minutes a day, to do some meditation. And then, at other times in the day, we have pockets of time. Kesha Maharaj, His Holiness Kesha Maharaj, talks about how we often actually complain that we don't have enough time. When we encourage people to read the Bhagavad Gita, oh, I don't have enough time. Either people will say, oh, I know it all. I know the Bhagavad Gita, I've read it. Or they will say, I don't have time. But then Kesha Maharaj actually says, if we take a notebook and we actually make a conscious decision that we think about, we do some introspection, and we think about, out of 24 hours in a day, how many hours do we spend sleeping? And out of the remaining hours that we are awake, how many hours do we spend wasting our time? I'm not talking about how much time we spend at work. I'm talking about the other time, right? So say, for example, you sleep for 8 hours a night, right? That leaves 16 hours that you're awake. Out of those 16 hours, you spend maybe 8 hours at work. So that leaves 8 hours. You have 8 hours of free time. How can we make that introspection, that in those 8 hours of my time, how can I use it conducively to make good use of this birth, this human form of life that I've been blessed with? We are not just born to go to work, do our 9 to 5s, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, go home, and that's it. We all know that there is a deeper meaning to all of us, in all of us. Krishna has brought us here. Krishna has created us, all of us individually, for a reason. He has given us, every single one of us, different talents, different skills. How can we use that in Krishna's service? How can we dovetail that to make it as an offering? For example, we were talking earlier actually about how if you love music, if you like singing, you can sing for the Lord. You can sing bhajans and kirtans for the Lord. How, if you like reading, if you love learning. Well, today is Vasant Panchami. Some people around in India, they also celebrate Saraswati Puja. They worship Ma Saraswati. Who is Ma Saraswati? She's the goddess of knowledge. But the powers that she has received to bless others with that knowledge comes from the Supreme Lord himself. Right? So Ma Saraswati is, in fact, she is a gateway to developing a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna himself through knowledge. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, he is the source of all knowledge. He has the power to bestow us with knowledge, but he also has the power to bless us with forgetfulness. If you want to remember Krishna, Krishna will give you many different opportunities to remember him. We have social media now. We have so many videos on YouTube with kirtans and live darshan of different temples that you can watch online. Right? If you want to remember Krishna, Krishna will say tathastu. Okay, I'll give you the tools by which you can come to me. What are those tools? Learning about Krishna through reading Srila Prabhupada's books, listening to classes, attending Bhagavad Gita classes, and actually even signing up to certain courses that help us develop a deeper understanding of what the scriptures are telling us. But if we have that desire that, oh, I don't believe in Krishna, I don't believe in God, I want to forget about him, Krishna will say, tathastu. All right. You want to forget him? He will give you the tools to forget him as well. So we have to be very careful what we ask for. When we are praying to Krishna, a lot of us ask for many different things. We have to be very careful, because what do we do when those prayers are answered? How do we navigate that challenge? So this process of Krishna consciousness is actually a purification process by which we can actually realize who we really are. We are the spirit soul, we're not this body, right? So as a spirit soul, we are, Krishna says, every living being, so not just humans, but other insects, animals, birds, creatures, everyone, even plants and flowers, every living being is a part and parcel of me. A part and parcel. So what does that mean? So that means that we, because Krishna has created us, Krishna is our creator, he is our supreme father. We are part and parcel of him. We have been blessed with this lifetime. We have been blessed with this human form of life. What are we doing with it? What are we doing with that time? What are we doing with all the free time, the pockets of time that we get? What are we doing to really introspect and make the most of this lifetime? Because death can come at any moment. Any moment. Some of us, I could be going home from here. I might not wake up tomorrow. Death could come at any moment. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, at the time of death, if one thinks of me and one remembers me, then he will surely attain me. He will surely attain my kingdom. So we have to be very, very mindful how we are spending our time, our free time. Social media, it's a great tool if you want to promote something, whether it's a charitable venture or your own business. But social media at the same time is so dangerous because it actually chews up so much, so many hours of our free time, right? So we have to be very, very mindful. The more we absorb ourselves in activities, mundane activities, the more we will become sort of so ignorant to the point that at the time of death, we will have to, whatever we think about, we will attain that in the next birth. And we will have to go through the whole process again. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Birth, disease, old age, and death. That cycle will continuously keep repeating itself every single birth. But Krishna says, if at the time of death one thinks of me, one will surely attain me. What does that mean? That through the process of Krishna consciousness, we will be free from the cycle of birth and death. We will never have to take birth again. Our soul will never have to suffer again through disease, through old age. Our soul will never have to, we will not have to torture ourselves again through the process of birth and death. The Bhagavad Gita is such a powerful, powerful text. It even describes what happens at the time of death. The soul is the body is in so much pain. The pain is equivalent, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purports, that the pain is equivalent to 1,000 scorpions biting you and stinging you at the same time. That's how painful it is, the extraction of the soul from the body. And then, because of that pain, it is so traumatic. Krishna is so kind that we don't remember what we were in our previous lives. We don't remember what happened to us at the time of our previous death, right? He is so kind that he wants to save us from that trauma, because it is a very painful experience. It's a very traumatic experience. But Srila Prabhupada actually says that the more we absorb our mind, and if we perform certain activities with complete absorption, so not doing anything half-heartedly, complete absorption, that activity itself will become purified. The whole atmosphere becomes spiritualized. Our hearts become purer. Our consciousness becomes purer. And gradually, we become eligible to go back to Krishna, where we truly belong. Where we truly belong. We do not belong in this world. We are not of this world. We are just here as visitors. We're just here on a flying visit. Like an airport terminal, when you are actually waiting to catch a flight. You catch your flight and then you have a layover of, say, a few hours, and then you catch your next flight, right? So you're passing through the terminals. You're going from one airport to another. This is the same principle. In this life, whoever we are in this life, we are just passengers. We are just visitors. We're passing by the airport tunnel of life and death, birth and death, repeatedly, every single birth. So however long we are here for, we should consciously make that decision, make that introspection. Out of 24 hours in a day, if I can spare just 10 minutes meditating, gradually, we as conditioned souls, our conditioning will become purified. And we will realize that actually what we are really here to do makes more sense than what we are conditioned to do itself. So we're just going to be starting the 7 o'clock Aarti in about 6 minutes. Does anyone have any questions or reflections at this point? Anything anyone wants to share? No? Very quiet crowd today. Fine. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
विशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna.
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna everyone, the Aarti will start soon now at 7 o'clock. If I request you all, please come forward. Prabhu. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki Jai Siya Ram Lakhan Hanuman ki Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Hari Bol. की बजयो जयो गोरा चांदे आरती को शो